The original Mythbusters ran for a whopping 14 seasons, and during that time, the public fell in love with both the busting and the busters. Because of that widespread love and popularity, you might think you know all the secrets behind the making of this explosively entertaining show. But there are a few secrets the cast kept to themselves after the cameras stopped rolling, just waiting for the right fans to discover. The whole premise. Originally, Mythbusters was going to be quite literal, exploring well-known urban legends and actual myths. Over time, though, they dropped that idea, becoming more focused on what their viewers would like to see. Hence, some of the fan-favorite episodes explore whether certain movie scenes could realistically happen, or whether MacGyver could actually escape certain death time and time again. While these are definitely sillier concepts than the original premise of the show, in a world dominated by improbable blockbuster movies and amazing, potentially fake YouTube clips, the Mythbusters had plenty of material to work with. And if they ever come back, they'll still have plenty to work with, because we're just as confused now as we were then.
The labor involved in building this ball was intense.
Destroyed evidence. The Mythbusters were never strangers to destroying things. Invariably, testing various myths turned into an excuse to blow something up. However, there was one time where they used their destructive power to hide something from the fans, instead of sharing it with them. At the Silicon Valley Comic-Con in 2016, Adam Savage talked about their investigation of an easily available material and its supposed explosive properties. The discovery
was so explosive that we destroyed the footage and agreed never to say what we learned. Seriously.
Apparently, the tech-savvy team determined that destroying the footage was the only way to ensure it didn't pop up on YouTube a few years down the line, causing amateurs everywhere to go and blow themselves to bits.
It was absolutely terrifying.
Savage on Sesame Street. Over the years, Adam Savage has become a brand in and of himself, known the world over for his madcap personality and penchant for destructive myth-busting. Appropriately enough for the zany host, Savage made his television debut as a cartoon character on Sesame Street. Savage's father was behind many of the 30-second animated bits that ran in between other Sesame Street programming way back in the day. This led to a job where Savage's father had to produce 10 animations about children who were interested in figuring out how things work. Fittingly enough for a future Mythbuster, young Savage was tapped to be the voice of one of the two children featured in these spots.
I'll show you how a faucet works, Sheila.
Belleci Pipe Bomb. For most of the Mythbusters crew, mastering the art of crazy explosions was mostly a matter of keeping fans happy. After all, most of them had backgrounds in modeling, engineering, and robotics for the movie industry. But the team had a secret weapon in the form of Tory Belleci. When he was giving a speech to the Davidson County Community College, Belleci let slip that, at the tender age of 11, he was not only learning how to make his own Super 8 films, but making his own flamethrower and even pipe bombs. While these are the kinds of skills that would probably get most modern children put on a governmental watch list, they served as valuable experience for the young man figuring out how to use the resources around him to achieve explosive entertainment.
You wonder why you always see him getting hurt.
Cannonball. Normally, the Mythbusters are paragons of safety. Not only do they give that firm "do not try this at home" warning to their viewers, but they operate in conjunction with local law enforcement and emergency services to make sure their myth-busting doesn't do any real damage. But one screw-up was a doozy, involving the team nearly destroying somebody's home. The team was testing myths related to homemade cannons and had set up water vats that were supposed to safely catch the cannonballs so nothing dangerous happened. Unfortunately, a cannonball blew through the cinder block wall on the set of the show. It ended up going on a rather amazing journey, in which it flew through somebody's front door, up their stairs, through their bedroom, and out of their house before jumping a thoroughfare, hitting the top of another home, and coming to a final rest by slamming into a minivan. Fortunately, only the minivan was hurt.
Well, it radically altered our entire safety procedure.
Social media backlash. Because their show is supposed to be based around rigorous scientific testing, the public is likely to assign a certain weight to endorsements the Busters make. So, most of the Mythbusters team have shied away from any kind of corporate involvement or sponsorship. All of this serves to partially explain why Grant Imahara received a lot of online criticism for his appearance in advertisements involving McDonald's products. The ad campaign featured Imahara myth-busting McDonald's myths, saying that chicken nuggets aren't made from pink slime, and that contrary to bizarre rumors, McRibs don't contain eyeballs or lips.
Are there lips and eyeballs in there, Jimmy?
However, the ads were weirdly specific. People who had never heard bizarre myths about eyeballs in their food were now, well, eyeballing their food choices more carefully. And the media had a field day, criticizing Imahara for selling out in the wake of being fired from Mythbusters.
There's no mystery. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've been there.
Regular fighting. In 2014, the Mythbusters were making headlines in a much more negative way than usual. Rumors swirled that the two main busters, Adam Savage and Jamie Heineman, always such a successful team on screen, actually hated each other off screen. Savage clarified that the two consider themselves as professionals who share a highly specific job, and they manage to get over any differences that they may have in the name of accomplishing this goal. As Savage put it, "We disagree about the small details every single day, on almost every single detail, but we don't really disagree about the big stuff." It's interesting to imagine then that some of the playful insults they toss each other's way on the show may actually have a real bite to them.
What, you gonna let me show you up on television?
You want to get whacked in the head with a phone book?
Thanks for watching. Click the grunge icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.